Hands of Time is among the most hated seasons of Ninjago, and while I understand some of the reasons why, I personally found it enjoyable, and I wanted to give this season some defense because I think it's pretty good. And any plot that has to do with manipulating or traveling through time is a difficult one to write, and I think they did an adequate job. But the biggest reason that I think this season came out pretty decently is the way that the characters developed. But I wanted to start with the villains, Crux and Achronix. I actually really like them, and I think Ninjago did a really good job of writing sibling villains, because not only do they have amusing banter, they're very in sync and they work as a good team. They're also some of the most powerful villains in the series, with the ability to control time. And they know how powerful this is because their whole saying is control time, control everything. In the first episode, the fight scene between Wu and Achronix showcases how powerful even just one of the Time Twins is, because if the ninja hadn't showed up in time, Wu would have fallen from the mountain that the monastery was on. He was also severely injured and almost killed by just one of Achronix's time punches. And I think the fact that there are two elemental masters of time makes it all the more interesting because it's an added challenge, and it allows for Crux and Achronix to bring out each other's characters. Also, because of the time punch that Achronix landed on Wu, the ninja don't really have his leadership throughout the season, which also sets up for Season 8 when Wu is gone. This directly influences Lloyd learning to become a master. This season is the first time we see him actively trying to fulfill that role, and I think that the writers portrayed that struggle really well, especially because Lloyd is so young and the ninja don't really think that he compares to Master Wu. They don't really listen to him and they ignore his orders. When Lloyd speaks to his mother Misako about this, she gives him guidance and advice that helps him prove himself and become accepted as a temporary leader of the ninja. He gains the respect of the team, which helps all of them work together better, because they now trust the judgment of the person giving them orders. But Lloyd isn't the only one who has to learn a new skill during this season. Cole is also learning to control his ability of Lava Fists, and he's having a hard time using it properly. But him going through a learning curve with this ability allows it to become an integral part of his combat in later seasons. Then we get to Nia, who's having trouble letting go of her past as Samurai X, which she has to let go of to become the Water Ninja. And her making the shift from one to the other is a crucial development when it comes to her being the Water Ninja. But Samurai X itself is not left behind, because this season introduces a new mystery when Nia finds out that someone else is using her Samurai X gear. And at one point, she thinks she's got it figured out who it is, and she feels certain that the new Samurai X is Skylar, which she later finds out isn't true, which carries on this secret identity of Samurai X. We later find out that Samurai X is Pixel, and at some point when the ninja had to fix Zane's electrical power, Pixel actually left his mind, which is where Zane put her hard drive during Tournament of Elements. So when she goes on to become Samurai X, she's giving herself a new identity, and she proves to be a worthy successor to the original Samurai X in later seasons, as over time she continues to grow as a member of the ninja team. But without Pixel, Zane is going through his own unique struggle of having to navigate the world without someone he loves, and we see throughout the season that he's determined to carry on. Then we have Kai, who has to struggle with the information that his parents might be traitors to the Elemental Masters. During his fight with Crux at the museum, Crux lies to Kai and tells him that his parents were traitors, and Kai is inclined to believe this because the symbol from his father's blacksmith shop is on the Vermilion armor. And all of Kai's anger comes to a head when he meets with his parents for the first time in several years, which is another major plot point in the series as a whole. Kai and Nia are reunited with their parents, and they find out that the reason they've been gone so long is because they were kidnapped by Crux and Achronix. And this is a major reveal for them because they had thought that their parents were dead. We see them in Day of the Departed lighting lanterns for them. But this season gives them an opportunity to free their parents and build a relationship with them that they haven't been able to for a long time. As for Jay, we also get to see him with his parents in this season. And I think that anytime we see Jay with his parents, it's always very wholesome, and we see how supportive his parents are and how they help him grow. With the Vermilion out collecting any metal that they can get their hands on, Jay realizes that his parents in the junkyard are probably in danger. And it turns out that he's right. And after his mother is taken by the Vermilion warriors, we see Jay's father Ed inspiring and helping him. And we also once again get to see Jay in action as an engineer. He modifies the motorbike that his parents gave him to be able to go much, much faster. And this allows him to show up just in time at the location of the Time Blade to get it away from the Vermilion and allow the ninja to take it out of their possession, which is a major win for them. It's also amazing to see moments like that for Jay, especially because I feel like his character really isn't taken that seriously. Finally, of course, we have Cyrus Borg, who hasn't really had any major roles in the seasons aside from Rebooted. And we get to once again see his intelligence and ingenuity as Crux and Achronix picked him in particular to work on the Iron Doom. And although he fails to do so, Borg is clever enough to try and sabotage the machine. And I think it's great that we got to see more of him. In general, this season introduced a lot of unique struggles and developments for characters, and I think that the premise of time manipulation for a story is very interesting. And while it wasn't a perfect season, I think they did a really good job with it. Although that's just my opinion, and I know a lot of people think differently about it. But that is all for now.